So for this week's tee off, I'm going to have to pile on to someone that's been getting talked about a lot today and this week, and that's quarterback for the Jets, Zach Wilson. He's been benched ahead of their Week 12 matchup against the Bears. Mike White is going to start a quarterback for the Jets, and this comes after they suffered that 10-3 loss against the Patriots that we were mentioning in the Players of the Week, where the game was won on a last-second punt return for a touchdown after the Jets defense had held the Patriots offense to just 3 points all game. A couple of things I think are really important to keep in mind when talking about the Zach Wilson situation that, like I mentioned before, everyone's kind of piling on right now, is one that the Jets are a lot better than we or anyone expected them to be. They're a 6-4 team, and in the preseason, no one expected them to do anything. The reason they are a 6-4 team is because of their defense. They're fourth in sacks, fourth in interceptions, top 10 in turnovers forced, yards allowed, points given up. All these stats show that the Jets are a legitimate contender to be a top 5 defense. The second thing is that the Jets have real threats at their skill positions, but since Breece Hall went down with his season-ending injury, the offense has looked dead. And the third thing to keep in mind is that Zach Wilson was the second overall pick in the 2021 draft. He was the second quarterback and second player taken, only behind Trevor Lawrence, drafted ahead of players like Justin Fields and other quarterbacks in that class like Mac Jones and Trey Lance, and taken ahead of guys like Jamar Chase, Patrick Surtain, and Micah Parsons. So while it might seem to be a little bit unfair to be piling on a second-year quarterback, that's important to keep in mind because these are players that have already started to show like elite talent in the NFL. So with those things said, I understand that there's kind of a frenzy of shitting on Zach Wilson this week. He's getting piled on, and a lot of it is nitpicky. People are bringing up a lot of advanced stats, but I do think there's a lot of validity to what people are calling out about Zach Wilson specifically, and it's his lack of accountability. After the game, when asked about the lackluster offense and only scoring 3 points, Jets head coach Robert Saleh said the offense was horse shit. Garrett Wilson made it clear that he was unhappy with the game plan and that they have to be better with the execution. And then they asked the leader of the team, the quarterback, the number 2 pick, who completed 9 total passes on the day for 77 yards, if he felt like he let the defense down, and all he said was no. And moved on. What do y'all think about that answer?
Shit, you should have saw what all the defensive players said. Them boys all had the same tweet queued up.
Yo, look, Elijah Moore, I think it was, had the picture of himself throwing the ball on his IG stories. A little put me in, coach. I mean, look.
Put me in, coach.
He's lost the locker room, and that's very good. And you can tell that no one overstated this because he is a healthy, inactive player. He went from the starter to the third string quarterback on the roster.
Additionally, that team is missing a couple pieces, but they're still in contention to make the playoffs. They're missing a starting left tackle. They lost Breece Hall. I want to say they lost someone on defense. And they're still playing good. So, like, it's kind of like, okay, Zach, like, what are you doing? Because Sauce in the secondary is playing exceptional, especially Sauce. The D-line with Quinn Williams, they have the rookie from Florida State. I don't know if he's done much. And then they also have Carl Lawson. Like, they got a pretty decent team. Not great, but, like, if their quarterback plays good, the defense can hold up a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly. I just want to everyone's throwing out these like a lot of advanced stats, and I don't even need
them. He's just bad.
He has thrown more interceptions than touchdowns in 20 games. This past week, they punted more than they had more punts than completed passes. Like you don't even need to read that deep into it, and to cherry pick a couple things that I thought were hilarious. Zach Wilson has less touchdowns this year than Jameis Winston. Zach Wilson has less touchdowns this year than Taylor Heineke. Zach Wilson has less touchdowns this year than Bailey Zappi, bro. These are players that have played in
Bailey
like
was kind
3
of fire though.
games. They played in like 3 games. He played in 7.
That boy Bailey was snapping low key.
I mean, look, Zach is just not it. He's not it. At least right now. Maybe he gets better, but you can't both be a bad locker room person / teammate and play bad on the field. You got to pick a struggle.
I mean, look,
Tell niggas to pick a struggle like they want to pick a struggle.
Well, if you got a struggle, pick one.
like the Bills lost to the Jets this year, and Josh Allen after that game said it was because he played like shit. Like maybe Zach Wilson should take a page out of Josh Allen's book. And like, I don't know, dude. Like, obviously we don't know these people. That these are just like narratives that get thrown out there. But Zach Wilson seems a little arrogant and has always seemed a little arrogant since coming into the league. And like he just like doesn't have to be accountable and doesn't admit to mistakes. And I don't think he should have to go on an apology tour to the media for playing bad, but you got to at least hold yourself accountable in public and like say it with your chest, like be out there and be accountable to your team to some extent. Like you can't just say no.
Mean it. You ain't even got to mean it. All you have to do is say the right thing, and you already know what the right thing it is to say. Like the Bears lost, right? Cairo Santos missed the kick. The special teams let back a return touchdown to Cordell Patterson, and like our defense is just bad. And we lost by 3 points, right? And Justin, they asked Justin a similar question, and Justin was like, I feel like I let our defense down. I feel like I let our team down. We're going to do better. We're going to get back in the lab. We're going to work until we get it right. Like,
that's a
the
game
right
where he
thing to say.
He threw one pick and his defense gave up over 30 points, and he's there taking the blame because you're the public-facing head of the team. Like, you are the quarterback. You are the leader. Like, quarterback is overemphasized as the most important part of a football team. It is not the most important thing that makes a team work. Like, definitely the O-line is more important than having a quarterback. But from like a public-facing and leadership perspective, that is something that like actually doesn't get overemphasized, or I think actually is correctly emphasized, that the quarterback needs to be kind of the voice and face of the team. And for you to not take accountability and to let your defense kind of like it seems disrespectful. And I mean, I feel like the Jets feel like it's disrespectful too. We all can see that, but I don't think he should have to like apologize for play every time he plays bad to the media, but you could at least acknowledge that you didn't play good.